Welcome back to Talking to Teachers presented by the CBA Digital Network. My name is Nicholas Harari, and I am here with Mr. Macky, who teaches every single French course at CBA. It's a pleasure to have you today.
My pleasure.
First off, would you mind explaining your origin story at CBA and how you started your career here?
Nick, thank you for the opportunity. And just to be concise, okay, because I have a lot to say regarding that question. But I was born in Cameroon, and I did some of my schooling over there. Then I moved to France. In France, I got my what you call in French baccalaureate. I mean, you are baccalaureate. You know what I'm referring to, baccalaureate, which is a high school diploma. Now, my baccalaureate was baccalaureate type A2, meaning A2, right? Meaning literature and languages and some philosophy. So after that, I went to law school at the University of Paris, 13, which is in Vitonneuse. Then I didn't like law that much.
Yeah.
Then I switched to philosophy. Université Paris 12, Créteil. So I had a successful year over there. Then I moved to United States. United States, I went to SUNY Albany. SUNY Albany, where I taught a lot of French, all levels, from débutant, beginners to advanced level. And I taught some literature, French literature, society and culture, civilization as well. Then, when I was preparing my PhD, I had a job at CBA in Albany. Very good job, CBA in Albany. So, over there, I taught all French levels as well. I taught Spanish. I taught philosophy. And I taught Japanese.
Nice. That is very unique considering I don't know how many schools offer Japanese.
Well, yes. I mean, that's a very good question because I was supposed to teach it as, in the curriculum, but because I had already a lot of classes, so I couldn't. So I had it like, a side class. But
Awesome.
that's
And then
okay.
what made you move from CBA Albany over
Yes.
here to
Okay. So yes, from CB Albany in 2000 year, right? 2000 to 2005. And then I had a dream job, believe it or not, in Brazil.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I mean, I was like, wow, this is such an opportunity, right? I mean, I was dreaming about Brazil ever since I was,
Brazil is beautiful.
Yes. So I just couldn't decline. I couldn't decline. So I went over after 5 years at TB, in Albany. And then, I spent almost 10 years in Brazil, teaching at the universities over there, and high school, private schools, and so forth, right? And then I came back to the United States, and I've been here at this CBA 6 years. This is my 6 year year, and here I started teaching Latin. And I'm sorry, at CBA in Albany, I also taught Latin. So
you did it all. You taught all the languages.
So my first year here, I taught Latin and French, all levels.
All levels.
And yes, and here I am, 6 years after.
Wow. Yeah. So now you're
going.
Yeah. I know. Yes. Now, of course, you teach all levels of French. I had Mr. Macky. You taught me freshman year, French 1,
That's good, yes.
The beginnings, all the way up. Now we're in French. I'm in French 3 now, so it's been fun. And
yes.
you're teaching a new class next year. It's French literature. I think senior
That's
elective,
yes, but depending. I mean, it depends on the
the
administration.
interest and the
Yes, the interest in
administration.
administration. Because I mean, so far, I mean, I have 6 classes, right? You know, they're going to be a bit difficult. So I
Of
mean,
course,
everything.
yeah,
On
of
the,
course, that's awesome. But
yes.
yeah, yeah, French has been it's been fun over the past 3 years, and of course, you also teach the advanced level like AP French, which is
Yes, yes, yes,
the
yes, yes, I do.
top.
Yes,
So, where you prepare them for
you're
and
right.
then of
For the
course
college, so forth
and
and
the
so on.
stamp exam, of course.
Yes, yes, yes. They're coming soon for you. I mean,
Yeah, I know. Stamp exam's coming soon for me.
yes.
And moving off of your origin story, over the course of the 6 years you've been here, what's been your favorite memory thus far at CBA?
You know, I have a mountain. I mean, a lot of them,
Oh, of course.
right? Because I love the institution itself, right? So my favorite, I would say the end of the school year graduation, because that's when you have the sense of accomplishment, right? When you see those kids walking down the aisle, right? At the Brookdale College, for example, I mean, it is just phenomenal. That's my, yeah, I would say definitely that's my favorite moment.
Yeah,
Yes.
seeing from those kids that you may have seen
Yes,
freshman year
exactly. And
evolve
then yes, evolve to my God.
senior
Oh my
year,
God. Yes. Sometimes I
and
mean, I get emotional. Sometimes like
yeah,
wow, look at
like they're
I
off to
see them
college.
happy and jumping around
Oh
and
yeah,
shaking hands and
yeah,
it's just I love it. I love
yeah.
it really.
Yeah, of course I haven't experienced that yet, but next year I've heard from many people that the graduation ceremony and all of that is really exciting.
It
Move on
is,
to the next
yes,
part of their
that
life.
is
So
unforgettable. Believe
yeah,
me, yes. I mean, that's my.
yeah, something I am for sure looking forward to.
Already, I can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and outside of teaching at CBA, what else are you involved in with clubs wise?
Yes, outside club-wise, so far I'm a member of, at UN, right? There is one organization, international organization at the United Nations. So we have meetings, now and then outside CBA, and I always think about taking some of my kids at the UN, right, at some summit to meet with world leaders, so forth, like ask questions. But definitely that's something that I'm going to be doing now. You know that inside here we do have
Yeah,
our Francophone Club,
Francophone, yeah,
right? Yes, Francophone Club, which is also interesting in terms of getting to meet with other kids
people
and other
from all over
students. Right?
for sure.
And then now, as so that I like to read a lot. I read a lot. I mean, I sort of CBA when I'm not, and I like to write.
Yeah.
One of my books might be coming soon.
Oh wow,
I don't know when, but yes, I mean,
that's
yes,
awesome.
it's getting, to write direction.
Nice.
So
What's the plot of the book? What is it?
it's philosophical,
Okay.
mostly philosophical, and the existence and the relationship between transcendence and immanence, meaning the relationship between human beings and God, so forth, right?
Interesting.
So it has to do with metaphysics, ontology, all this, critical theory and so
Yeah.
forth. So I don't want to just say
Yeah,
what
I know. You could go on and on
yeah,
about
I
yeah,
keep not
yeah,
keep not the secret a bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And of course, I know that the French induction is
Yeah, it's coming
coming
up soon.
up.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So,
on the 19th. On the
what
19th.
what are your thoughts on that? You're excited? Did you?
Yes, because yes, that's also another. I mean, like I said earlier, right?
Yeah.
There are moments that I like that my favorite moments. But yes, that's I would say the second one because I don't want to classify them right, but there are other ones. But yes, I like that moment as well because when we are there at the theater, right, with the parents around
Yeah.
and the kids, I'm just getting their medals and certificates. I mean, yes, that also. I don't know how to describe
Yeah.
that, right? Again, that sentiment, that feeling of accomplishment,
Yeah.
again, right, for these students who dedicated themselves, right, for the study for learning of French. I mean, right? It is really I don't know. I mean, I can't describe that.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I mean, for me, I experienced it
you've been
last
there.
year. I
Yes.
still have the
The
medal
pen.
on my
Yeah,
the
yeah,
pin
yeah.
on my jacket
Yes,
now.
yes.
But yeah, it was a really cool experience being, working up, learning French, and being able to be recognized for it ultimately. Overall, I thought it was a really cool experience, and of course,
Good.
my parents were there.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a lot of fun, and
No, I mean, you are a good student also. Okay.
thank you.
Sure.
And of course, you said outside of school, you write, you read a lot. One thing I thought was very unique about you is the amount of languages that you speak. I've never met someone who can speak at least more than two languages, usually one if they're native from a certain area.
Wow.
But yeah, what languages you can speak? English, French.
Well, yes, English, French, Spanish, Portuguese,
Yeah,
Japanese, a knowledge of Italian and German, and I can also speak Douala, Bassa, Ewondo, Esperanto.
wow.
So I mean, there is,
That's
but as far as I'm concerned, that's nothing.
yeah. Of course.
Considering different languages in the world. I mean, come
Of
on,
course,
all right,
yeah.
that's
I know, but that's a significant. What how'd you get into learning those languages? How were you immersed to that?
um, growing up already in a space, environment where you deal with people from different,
Very diverse.
yes.
Okay.
So in a sense, directly or not, right, you are prone to
Okay.
learn more. And as I mentioned earlier, because I cut it short, like my baccalaureate, for example, right, in Paris, but languages and culture and philosophy. So we had a lot of hours in languages and philosophy as our major. So then I took Spanish, Italian, and so forth, right? So that's where, also. But I have to say that, yes, I also have the virus for languages.
Yeah. It's
So
I mean, for sure. I've only heard you speak a little bit of Japanese, but it did
when,
yesterday.
oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
listen.
but it did sound pretty good though. But yeah, I mean, for me, I've been studying French since sixth grade, and I hope one day I could speak it more comfortably, fluently. But of course, right now I'm just learning. But I just think it's a great skill to have.
Yes, yes.
Translating or just when you go somewhere.
Yes, to that point, let me just add something, if I may, please. To me, it's a sense of freedom. I mean, I don't want to go too much to delve into that as much, but to me, that's the actual freedom, not license, but freedom in a sense that the more languages you know, the better person you become, the better person you get. All right. Not to say that the person who speaks one language, but to me, the philosophical, the ontological, the metaphysical freedom, the actual freedom, as such, is to be able, to speak as many languages as many as possible, right? Up to the point where there is no more to learn. To me, that's actual, the real freedom.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. I mean, I feel like in my life, as I was saying, I hope to, but one day be able to learn more languages because I just think it's so unique. My sister right now, she's learning sign language, which
Okay,
I think is
that is something that I would like to
yeah. So
attend.
that's
Yes,
another one that's just like
it's very
continuing
very
to
interesting. Very
yeah.
interesting. Yes.
It's for sure, but it's definitely a great skill to have anywhere you go, really.
Yes, and that reminds me a lot about Brazil, for example, where I will see some, that sign language is well developed over there, and
Oh yeah,
some students just, I mean, in buses, so forth, they just like public transportation, they just communicate in. I was like, wow, this is cool. I mean, wow, I love it
yeah.
really. So something that I would like to to learn someday. So,
For sure. And last question I have for you, moving off the topic
yes,
of
yes.
languages, if you had to give any piece of advice to the student body and faculty, what would you say? What would that be?
Nicholas, I think of 3 R's. Letters: respect, responsibility, reasoning or rationality. Respect why? Respect for oneself. Respect for yourself that you extend to others, other people, other students. Respect for the environment, right? This is for both the faculty and the students. Respect. Now, in terms of responsibility, again, both for the faculty and the student body, you know what I mean in terms of, my classes do the homework
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
when assigned, to do some research, always have one step ahead of time, right? And for the students, for the teachers, I'm sorry, the faculty, well, prepare well calibrated classes, right? Until you get that feel of satisfaction that when you get to provide, to distill this class, right, you have the feeling of accomplishment. So, yes, no, I'm looking for one to, with contemplation, right? As if there is nothing else that you could have. I always refer to the idea of what the diamond, right? If you think of the diamond, it looks perfect. It means what? Perfection has 2 sides at least.
Okay.
Nothing less, nothing more. You know what I'm saying? So we have to calibrate our lessons like that, to which that is. Now, for reasoning, rationality, I would like, my advice is to be more conscious of that, because when we pray every single day at the beginning of each class, right, let us remember that we are in the holy presence of God. All of us have to have that sense, both the teachers, the faculty, and the student body. Why? Because that gets us into the liaison, the relationship that we have the Most High, instead of immanence and transcendence. So when you say that in classroom, each and every one of us must be thinking about that, because, like I said, you might be using reason, rational, that takes us to faith, or back and forth, faith, reason, faith. There's no there's no difference. Why? As you know, Descartes, for example, was the famous rationalist. Descartes, famous rationalist, ended up believing in God. So it shows that both there is this duality.
You can have a balance of.
Yes. So that's what I will transmit. That's
Yeah,
my
and
suggestion, right, to the student.
I love what you said with those 3 R's: respect, responsibility,
Reason, yeah.
and reasoning. I think all of those, respect. Yeah, like you said, you have to respect yourself
First, yes.
and respect others, and I think that's so important. I think that's something that so many people don't have, and I feel like it's something as society as a whole that we can all work on, respecting ourselves and others. And then responsibility. A lot of people don't take accountability for some of their actions and just being responsible and doing the right thing. I just think that's so important and key to building one's character.
Right, you're right.
Yeah, and of course, rationality. Yeah, you have to be rational in all situations, and I once again think
Yeah, as far as
that's
possible, yes.
yeah. But be as well, like you said, being able to have that balance. You know, the rationalist had the faith,
Yes,
but as well the rationality. So being able to balance both of those, I think,
definitely.
is very important. So I couldn't agree more with what you said there. But overall, was a pleasure to have you today. I love all of your insights, your look, your view, your lens on the world. I just think it's so unique. You don't really get that from anybody else, and it was an honor to have you here today.
Thank you. Can I say something, if I may, please?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. I would like to pay a tribute to the CBA institution, community in general, starting from Albany, New York to here, because our institution, in relation to the reasoning I mentioned earlier in faith, we are a school of faith as well. And believe me, I've learned a lot from CBA, from Albany, our brothers, CBA here. So I would like to pay tribute to Brother R, CBA in Albany, Brother Tim, Tommy, who passed, both passed. Brother Tim passed in 2022. And here at CBA, our latest brother, Brother Steve,
Of course, the late passing of Brother
yes,
Steven.
of whom I've learned a lot, directly and indirectly. For that reason, I thank them very much.
Yeah, thank you. And of course, I didn't have the honor of meeting the two other brothers, but Brother Steven, who was in the library every morning, was a great guy, and unfortunately did pass away recently. But he was a great guy, and it was an honor to be in his presence
Exactly.
for the time that I was at CBA. So,
Yes, definitely yes.
yeah. But overall, pleasure to have you today. Thank you, Mr. Mackey.
I thank you for the opportunity.
Of course, of course. That is all for now. We will see you next time.